To the top right, we have the Samsung Khan player. This is Shine, winning game 1, losing on the second map. Now in the third game against his opponent. To the bottom left, in blue for SKT1. Now we have Fantasy.
This is a really close series. Both players fairly evenly matched here. I feel like Shine in game number 2 just traded inefficiently too many times, and Fantasy had control of the map. Then he just made Aspire and made Corruptors because he was desperate to try to have some sort of drop defense, and then they weren't useful in his composition. Fantasy had way too many siege tanks. The upgrades were in his favor once again as well.
It's just like all those baneling attacks by Shine did not work. Not only the initial one, every single one of them. Every time he was up against siege tanks, and he could really see that the tanks were manually targeted by Fantasy to take out those clumps of banelings, and they just exploded. It was a huge explosion, a huge splash, and every Terran player loves to see that.
Yeah. That's when you see banelings blow up to siege tank fire, you get pretty happy about it.
Fantasy is sitting in his booth, snickering.
Right-clicking those banelings, making them disappear. He's seeing experience points fly in the air. Imagine he's playing Heart of the Swarm.
Did you play Dungeon Keeper?
No.
No?
What is this?
Well, it's a pretty cool game, and you were basically like the keeper of a dungeon. So you had monsters, and you had imps that were gathering resources, and then you build new thingies. You got new monsters like vampires. So you were the bad guy, and every now and then the hero would pop up in your dungeon, and you had to take him down. But they were like the imps, and you could slap imps, and if you slapped them, they worked a little bit faster. So you had to be really this mean person. But the funny thing is that there were a lot of these creatures was like snickering the entire time and just laughing, and exactly the sound. This is what I imagine Fantasy sitting in his booth, seeing all those banelings detonate, and he's like, nah.
So the snickering made you want to slap them more?
Yeah,
okay.
Kind of. That's how it worked. It was a cool game. It was.
What's it called? Dungeon Keeper?
Yeah, it was from. I think it was from Peter Molyneux, the guy who also made Black and White.
So what is the goal of this game?
I actually think that you just had additional levels that you went through, and for the levels you had new monsters that you could get, and the toughest monsters were really hard to control, so you had to have a certain environment. You had some really sadistic monsters.
You had to slap them even harder than the other ones?
Some of those got really angry when you slapped them, and they ran ammo. It was a fun game. It was just pretty cool. It was a mixture between SimCity, being a bad guy, and it was pretty cool.
I don't know, it sounds fun.
Good old times.
If I had a time machine and got trapped in the past where we don't have newer and better games, I would...
New and better... Well, the thing is, back then, it was less about the graphics, it was more about the fun of the game.
That's what it used to be like, man. And that's why I said if I got trapped in the past after some sort of experiment with a time machine went wrong, I would remember that.
Yeah, you should play that.
I actually have an app on my phone. It's called the If You Get Stuck in the Past app, and I take notes about things I need to do, things I need to change about my future, and it's actually quite useful. You should have it in case you get trapped in the past.
Buy some Google and Microsoft stocks.
I
totally hear you.
Absolutely the case. By the way, we have Roach Aggression with a lot of gas.
Yep, the Roach Aggression, and only 22 harvesters so far, so this means that we are not going to see this as a Roach baneling aggression. We are going to see a normal Roach attack. At least a few units going across the map, trying to do a bit of damage here, poking, knocking at the front door, knock, who's there? And if the answer is not, well, I have a Hellion and 2 Marauders, then Shine will do damage.
Yeah. If the answer is I have 2 bunkers already, one on the high ground, and I'm making Marauders, it's not a pleasant ending for the Zerg, but Fantasy takes a risky build here. He will start the Marauders now with this tech lab he's starting on his barracks.
Now we have them, 8 Roaches. That's what he's building. And we have the tech lab, as Wolf just said, so let's see what exactly Fantasy is going to do to prepare for this. The Roaches, he won't see them. He doesn't have anything on the map that could spot the Roaches. There's no detection. We also don't have a Hellion here. He's just
supply blocked.
Yeah, he...
Like, heavily. He should have had those Hellions out a long time ago.
I was already wondering why, and yes, thank you for pointing it out, because I missed that.
And now he's got no vision. This is exactly why you want to make Hellions, to get control of the map and see things like this. There's only 2 Marines on that bunker. He's going to make a 3rd Marine that's not a Marauder, and if the Roaches run by the bunker, if he realizes there's not a lot of DPS, he can kill the Marines that are coming down the ramp. This is weird that he showed the Roaches like that and is not going to attack now, though.
Shine. I guess he's waiting for the rest of the Roaches, but now he has shown his hand, and the Marauder is being built. But he has a lot here, and he does not have to take Fantasy down. He just needs to take down SCVs.
And I think he should start doing it.
Yes, now he has to move in. Now he has all of those.
Is he going to go for the bunker? Well,
He should. He definitely has the DPS. Boom.
And now the Marines need to get up that ramp and get into the second bunker. There's no wall. There's no second depot at the top. That's the depot he missed.
And he takes down SCVs.
Actually, I feel Fantasy loses this game because he did not make that depot.
He's going to lose a lot here. One Marauder just is not enough. The Hellions are already gone, and the SCVs that repair the bunker are history. The bunker dies, and now suddenly the Marauder is exposed. He is going to lose the game most likely here and right now.
He's got nothing. He's got one Marauder, a bunch of SCVs to die.
He could even cancel Stimmen to prevent that the SCVs are now running in, and he's taking the SCVs off one by one. The Harvesters killed is now at 29, 30, and only 11 SCVs survive. He's targeting now the tech lab, and there it is.
GG. Fantasy goes to the up and downs.
And Shine is up against Squirtle now in the third round of Code.
He's already unplugging his keyboard. Well, miss a depot and you die. That's actually the game of StarCraft 2. You make one mistake, you miss that depot, and you lose the game.
Yep. That's exactly what it was. You are supply blocked, you don't have your Hellions out, you don't see what's coming, you can't prepare for it, play a little bit greedy, and bam, you lose too much. You can't afford to lose 33 Harvesters this early in the game. Then the tech lab is gone, no stim. That was a little bit like the last straw that he grabbed out. Didn't work out. Fantasy goes to the up and downs. Shine will meet Squirtle in the third round of Code. And we have a treat coming up next. We have a very interesting game. We have Rain versus Keen.
Rain versus Keen will start off on Whirlwind, standard edition of the GSL map. Then we'll go into Kespa's Neo Planet S. And last but not least is GSL's Belshir Vestige, standard edition.
How do you know that means standard edition? Why doesn't it mean special edition?
Someone told me it means standard edition.
Well, that's so boring. I want to see the special edition. And if there was a special edition, would that also be SE? Why can't you answer these questions?
They probably would rename it if it was a special edition. Or usually if it's a special edition of a map that's already made, they just call it GSL, like GSL Echelon.
No, these answers don't satisfy me. Detective Wolf has to inquire a little bit further.
These are problems have already been solved, man. I mean, we talked about this like a year ago. It's all been solved.
I'm not happy with the answers anymore. I thought about it long and hard, and I'm
You want to reopen the case?
I want to reopen the case. I want to have another look at it. I also want to have a look at Rain versus Keen. This is going to be such a great series. I love that we have this. Rain, he dropped into Code A because of a scheduling conflict. He went to an overseas tournament, and then in the first round he was unlucky enough to meet Dream. And this was the time where Dream was practicing like a madman. He wanted to get so much better than he already was, and Rain was his first victim. This was not a fluke that Rain lost to Dream. Dream continued to be one of the strongest players, one of the strongest talents that we had this season. Went to overseas tournaments, did really well there, and now Rain is up against another Terran opponent. This time not in the first round of Code A, this is the second round, but he's up against a very strong contender. He's up against an MVP player, Keen, a very experienced player, and this is going to be a great match.
Yeah. The only issue Keen has right now is that he cannot type in Korean characters in the chat, so it's taking a little bit longer to verify that he is indeed ready to play the map. And it looks like they're both ready now. Rain says good luck, GG, go, and we are going to start up on Whirlwind right away here. Countdown has started. This is the most exciting match, I feel, of the afternoon session.
Yeah.
Rain fell out due to scheduling conflicts, then lost in his round of the first round, is already back in GSL. Can he go straight back into Code S against Keen, a veteran? Let's find out right now. Map 1 on Whirlwind.